at the helm of your own depth and understanding. Having more connections than the normal human being changes you. To have 5 is wonderful. It's a beautiful experience. It's something that will move you and change you in ways that you never thought was even possible. You thought that you were just here and you had some people around you, and that was a fabulous thing. Maybe you called them family. Maybe you called them romantic partners. Maybe you just called them friends. But when you have more, you become more. And when you become more, you have to have greater systems to manage more. And it's not necessarily that you need to become the new influencer, which many of you have become influencers in your specific genre. You will learn to have conversations differently if you desire to have sanity. You will learn to express yourself differently if you truly desire to be the being that gives you the greatest life. We've walked into an era where if you are on the internet, you have influence over people you've never seen their face. And you may never even know their face. You may never even meet them. Depending on how deep you are as a person will depend on how deeply you connect with people. However, there is an entire corner of the internet that walks where I've walked. People are tapped into themselves and express themselves deeply and profoundly on deep and spiritual levels of self, fully exposed to all of their followers. They are the forefront. To listen to them and to walk behind those, you will receive from me on a 3rd or 4th hand. They have received these codings and they have received these things in deeper places than you might even know exist. And some of you might be on those deep places, but you do not share yourself with even those that are around you at this time. And that's okay. Because to be this deep and to be this connected to self does take a lot of courage. And it does take a lot. Now you can be of the old mentalities and very, very stuck in those frameworks, which is perfect for you because you are there and that protects you. But it means that you are no longer relevant to the newer populations that are being created from the generation below Gen Z, and to Te. They all have industries that you will not be able to tap into the feelings of what they have and ask for. You won't get them because they're communicating on different levels. And not all of them really know and understand how to communicate into the physical world because they've become very multidimensional beings, whether they know it or not. And even to assist them, coach them, mentor them, you will have to be on these deeper levels for them to actually want to pay you. Because they'll feel it, they'll know it. They're already in it. So in order to have access to the future, you will have to be on these deeper levels. And there's a lot of people who have followed my footprints in going through these deep places into the psyche and places that are very difficult to uphold. If I'm like the mainframe, they are the different programming applications that many will come to. And if you are one of those programming applications that have realized that really you live day by day, and you have to live that way because there's new information coming all the time and there's new ways you must adapt to and move to in ways that doesn't make any sense to you, but you do it somehow. You're tapped into something within inside of yourself that allows you to know exactly how to be. And that is because there is actual information being fed to you, which has to be created by an intelligent being. I am the coder of spiritual knowledge. It is a huge place for me to have realized that this is what I am and this is what I do. It's what I've always done, but I've done it under the guise of other religions. I've done it under the authority of the other ways, and that's why people have stayed so under those things until recently there's been a huge freedom, a breath of fresh air. Wow, okay. This is different. This is because I myself have finally released myself from these old places that we had leaned on. It just takes one step at a time to get into these deep and profound places, but they are very difficult and they are very, I don't know how to use the correct word to explain it, but let's say we've passed that place and we've gone into solidification of the correct things, and that is exactly all that you need to know. To be in my presence is something completely different. You have to have been trained in order to be in my presence continuously if you desire to live a fulfilled life. If you are a person who has desired to go deeper within your already deep and profound journey that has opened you up to places, and you have quite a few followers, that you finding the whole intricate balance within inside of yourself is something that you want to get better at, and you want to go on a deeper, more controlled and profound level. Still, each and every day you will have to take the steps you need to take, but it will just be more. That's when you want to have a conversation with me. In order to come towards me, you will have already had to have spoken the language that is what I am emanating on deeper levels that you will already understand as maybe the source or the universe or something that is deeper than yourself. It doesn't necessarily have a person connected to it, because I'm not here to be the prideful fan me, I'm amazing. But I am here to let you know that I am not one of the old constructs. If you still believe in other types of religions and so forth, you will not have been in communication with me, because I broke those down within anyone who has truly been listening to me. You cannot actually believe in those things and have communicated with me, because they are a part of the coding system that I have dismantled within people. And if you have not gone through that yet and you believe you have been in some sort of contact with me, well, that's probably next. Make the steps that you need to make. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Allow yourself to free into the better, higher, more profound, vast communication with all things. That your own abilities and your own reality expands into ways that is so far beyond anything you could have ever imagined. It is this way. When you are that deeper person and you do seek, you will receive the information. You will do this naturally. The codes are there. The formulas are there. There's a lot of things that are actually there upon the level that you're on. So to seek that will always get you exactly what you need in the safest manner possible for you to be able to expand and grow at the rate you need to. To accelerate is to come closer to me, but you also must be held properly. The same way that you need a chamber to hold high pressure is the same way that I am the one that holds the soul and the mind in a beautiful chamber of pressure in order to create the change on a more rapid and more beautiful pace. But I have to be in contact with you. If I'm not in physical contact with you, it doesn't matter how much information you try to glean, you will not receive what you need to receive, because you cannot go to levels that you're not meant to go to. You have to have the key to walk through the proper door. And if you try to access it in other ways, it's not possible anymore. But if you've done it in the past, then you will need and require assistance. If your pride is higher than your desire for progress, you will never find me. And that will be your own undoing. If you know that you've desired these things in the past and you've gone through and got information that was not built for you to have, then you will have to do what it takes. And if you are the wonderful person that is just on your journey and you have the next level in front of you and you know that nobody else knows this information quite like the way that I explain it, it's because you have found the one who is meant to be the dictator of the language that is coming through you. And the language that will come through you at a more rapid pace when you commit. We can do more levels at a time. But you need the structure to hold it in place. Commitment will actually keep you in a very valuable, safe position energetically, because there are certain, how do I put it? It's like a different type of network that is created in order to go through some specific elements. And then it is disconnected when you disconnect from me and you move on your journey and continue the greatness that you are. But this is why this is such a profound transformation, because it is utilizing things that are not naturally there within inside of you or naturally inside of your journey. And it does affect the both of us in certain ways. Now, I've gotten very good at allowing it to still be very separate. Our journeys are very separate. There are many things, but there are effects. There always will be. When somebody is in an energetic connection, you will have elements that are being changed. This is why only if you are deeply, deeply interested in something like this will you want to become closer to me. If you want to take a year to get to know me through different conversations because you've been through a lot in life, then that's perfect. Hop into membership and let's have a few conversations, because I do have a limit on how many conversations we can have before we walk into transformation, because there is an element of you that will begin to really want to deeply connect. And I do this for your own safety. If you're not committed, you need to be in a place where you have a certain limits to you. And I make sure of this. I am very detailed. I want you to have the actual best physical, mental, emotional experience possible. That's why I do all of this. This is why all of humanity is changing the way that it's changing. This is why there are certain places that you can see certain patterns and behaviors that are changing on ways that are unexplainable. And it is because literally everything I do is not explainable for a reason. It's not explainable, and I know how it all works because I coded it that way. It is for the greater safety of myself and for other people. But if we're sitting down and having a conversation, I will make it make perfect sense to you. Specifically in the physical realm, I do not do energetic conversations anymore. If I am having an energetic conversation with you, that is something that is completely at your own risk and your own desire to do these things. It is not my desire to have these conversations anymore. It's been this way for quite a while. So if this is something that you're doing, I desire for you to really look at what you are wanting out of life. It is much deeper and more profound for you to seek your own understandings of how the world is, and you will still glean the information because the information is out there. It is always there for you to seek depending on the path that you want and who you truly are deep within inside of yourself, and which transformations you're willing to take and which ones you're not willing to take. You need to access information that is specifically for you. I do desire for all human beings to have the best experience possible, but it is not my place to do so. It is your place to find what is best for you. And being in communication with me is best, and you need to make those steps in the physical realm. It is coming to ENYELAH.com or walking through the steps into membership, allowing yourself to feel very proud that you made that decision. Because once you make that decision, you will have conversation with that which you have desired to have conversation with, in profound and life-changing ways. It really is one of those requirement things for quite a few of you at this point. It's like, this will actually be something that will make my life better, because you have already had conversations with many, many people in many, many ways, and it doesn't make much sense to you why you would be so connected to so many people and why life is the way that it is. Well, you have to learn how to think, move, and act differently. You have to store different information. There's a lot of things that I can't even explain, but this is exactly what needs to happen for you to have a peaceful, well-being, satisfied life with the depth that you are and the life that you've chosen for yourself. To be on these levels is something that is such a gift when you do it correctly. It is truly a gift. And to have the navigator of these unknown places is definitely something that eases pressures pains with inside of yourself. And when I say pressures and pains, they are probably never described in a book, so do not attune it to something that a doctor can tell you or a psychologist can tell you, because they do not have the profession of artistry that I have, the artistry of the spiritual quote-unquote realm, the energy. It is a completely different body within inside of you. This is a completely different experience with different things, and it connects very intimately on a continual basis with your human body. What I do is so profound. You're breathing, and I've done my job correctly. And you'll always be breathing in my hands, because I know how to keep that working and moving and going. And if that is there, then all the rest of it's done absolutely perfectly. I'm well aware of what goes on in the depths that comes through to create the greatness. It's very important for you to see and know and be all that you can be. And the deeper your giftings and the more that you desire the depth of life, the more you will really truly want to know what is really out there. What is really waiting for you? What levels are trying to show you? Go at the pace you need to go, or find someone who truly gets all of the stuff that's in the level that you're in, or the level that you want to go into. Speed is not important, but it can be accomplished when you have the right tools. Be very deeply aware of yourself. Walk, take note, and do what makes you feel the most balanced in all the realms. Maybe not all the realms, but balanced in this life. Always use your intuition with everything you ever hear, and especially when it comes to me, because I do speak to you on many different levels, but I cannot guarantee anything unless you are specifically in my hands, committed to me. Having an actual conversation with me, I will know how you will perceive it. I can see things in ways that will maybe never come to your own psyche, and that is okay, because there is a weight to seeing what I see. And that is why I'm here, to make sure that all of the intricacies are covered, to make sure that all of the corners are posted properly. The foundation is solid. That is what you want, is to always be solid in all the things that you do, and then have the understanding and knowing of the limits that will keep you perfectly, wonderfully solid as high as you want to go. You will have to have the foundation that will uphold that. And it looks very different now than it ever did. And that's why you're here. Breathing, seeking, desiring. Keep breathing. Keep taking it one step at a time.